Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video, as you can probably tell by the title, is going to be the my first time tag. Kind of old school, I know, but you know, I didn't start YouTube till this year, so I'm gonna catch up on all my tags. So basically, if you haven't watched the first time tag videos before, which I'm assuming you all probably have because I'm like 3 years late, it is basically a tag where there is a few questions on all things about your first time doing things. Now, when I first seen the first time tag, I was a bit like, your first time? That's a bit rude. But it is not about that type of first time. It's all about like your first time, like your first best friend, your first like film you watched, stuff like that. It's all about like your firsts of everything kind of tag, if that makes sense. So I'm going to stop rambling now because I have a tendency to do that. So if you are interested, then just keep watching. Right, so I've got all the questions down on my phone, so I'm going to be reading from them. So if you see me looking down, that is why. So the first question is what was your first tweet? Right, hold on a moment because I screenshotted it. My first tweet on Twitter was on the 15th of July 2014. I don't really know how to use Twitter that much. So my first tweet was, in love with the Vampire Diaries, #addicted. I must have been going through a Vampire Diary series addiction, which is quite rightly because it's such a really good programme, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Question number 2 is first YouTube video. As in like my first YouTube, oh, obviously Laura, first time. My first YouTube video was a very awkward makeup tutorial using the Morphe 35O palette. I'm not even going to list it down below for you to go and watch it because it's a bit cringing. But yeah, that was my first YouTube video. First person you subscribed to on YouTube. The first person that I subscribed to on YouTube was Lauren Curtis from Australia. That was horrendous pronunciation of Australia in an Australian accent. But yeah, she was the first beauty YouTuber that I came across, and I think I watched like all her videos in like a week because I was addicted to her and her accent. I just love the Australian accent, I think it's amazing. But yeah, she was the first YouTuber that I ever subscribed to on YouTube. First Facebook profile picture. Oh, this is a cringy one. So this was my first profile picture on the 25th of March 2009. Let me just zoom in and give you a little close-up. Is it going to focus? Oh, there it is. Nice and focused. Yep, I am rocking the black and white webcam snapshot. Do you still talk to your first love? Hell no. What was your first alcoholic drink? My first alcoholic drink would have been either a Smirnoff Ice or a WKD Blue, which are like little alcohol drinks if you don't know what they are. They're quite nice, but very, very sugary. But they would have been my first alcoholic drink. What was your first job? My first job was a waitress. I worked in a restaurant about 15 minutes away from me, and I worked there for about 3 years before I left. My first job at 16. What was your first car? My first car was my brother's old car. He'd bought a new car, so I had his car, his old car, if that makes sense, and it was a Renault Clio, and it was in like a bluey grey like type of colour. And I had that for about 2 years before I changed. Who was the first person to text you today? Well, I can't say because I just can't say. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? Well, I can't answer that one as well. It's a little secret. Who was your first grade teacher? My year 1 teacher, as we call it in the UK, was Mrs. Hume, I think. That was a very long time ago, so I'm not 100%. I know my year 2 teacher was Mrs. Jane. Mrs. Hume. I think it was Mrs. Hume. I think that was her name. I think that was who my first year 1 teacher was. Where did you go on your first ride on an aeroplane? I have absolutely no idea. Where did I go on my first airplane? Lapland, maybe? When I was younger? Might have been Disneyland Paris. No, I think it was Spain. I think it was somewhere in Spain. I don't know. I'll check with my parents and I'll write it down by you or something. The definite answer. Who was your first best friend and do you still talk? My first best friend was a girl called Lisa. We were best friends all throughout primary school and we were best friends at the start of comprehensive school, and then we kind of like drifted and went to different crowds. She was my first best friend. I actually had two best friends in primary school. One was called Lisa and the other one was called Leanne. I still talk to both of them. They still, not as obviously as much as I would like normally, but I do still talk to them when I see them out and about. But yeah, they were my first best friends really. Where was your first sleepover? My first sleepover would probably have been down Lisa's house. Or Leanne's. I want to say Lisa's though. Probably down Lisa's. What was the first thing you did this morning? First thing I did this morning was get up and brush my teeth. Don't everybody do that first thing in the morning? What was the first concert you ever went to? I think the first concert I ever went to was Bewitched. When they were about. If you're my age, then you should be able to remember Bewitched. I love that song. Let me show you a little bit of Bewitched in a minute. This is probably one of their most well-known songs. Say la vie, say you will, say you won't, say you do what I don't. But yeah, they were an Irish girl group back in the 90s and they were, I'm 100% sure they were my first concert that I ever went to with my mum and my dad and my brother. And I loved it. It was so good. Okay, so first, broken a bone. I haven't actually broken any bones. Touch wood. Touch wood. But I did fracture my like forearm and I was in a cast, but I didn't actually completely break, I just fractured it. And it's a funny story actually to how I fractured my left forearm. I was on the seesaw with my brother down the park that's literally down the road from me, and we were down there and we was on the seesaw and my brother decided to give me like the bumps like really high, which you've obviously been on a seesaw before and you're like going up and down and he's like jumping down, so like you like flying off the seat and you've got to hold on, and he did it really like too hard the one time and he went down and jumped. I come off and instead of like holding onto the thing I let go and I like kind of like done like a little thing in the air and landed on my arm and fractured it. So thanks, Gar. Thanks. First piercing. My first piercing would have been my ears, and I think I had them done when I was like 7. I don't know. I can never remember like the exact age or anything. First foreign country you've gone to? Probably Spain. But again, for a definite answer I will write it down by you. First movie you remember seeing? Oh my god. I have absolutely no idea, but I can remember, for some strange reason, watching the Disney film Sleeping Beauty in my living room when I was quite young. I don't know why, but I can remember watching Sleeping Beauty, so I'll class that as my first film. When was your first detention? My first detention would have been in like year 8, and it would have been for something stupid like forgetting my homework or perhaps talking in class. Actually, it might not have been year 8, it might have been year 9 because I was quite a good student in year 7 and year 8. Perhaps year 9, might have been year 9. Who was your first roommate? Well, I haven't got any because I don't live in a dorm or I don't live in a house of my own or anything. So I never had a roommate. What is the first thing you do when you get home? Well, I work from home, so if that applies to like after work, then the first thing I do would go and have my dinner and then get in my pyjamas. When was your first kiss? Oh, my first kiss would probably have been when I was about 13. And I don't know where it would have been. I cannot physically remember where it would have been. I want to say the arena. Every like Thursday there would be something called the Teen Arena. There was, it's not there anymore, a pub like club thing in the town that I live, called the Arena. And every Thursday night they would have something called Teen Arena, which was like a little like disco, I suppose, from like 7 to like 10 for under 16s or under 18s, to go under 18s I think it was, to go to and obviously have a dance. There was no alcohol served there or anything, but I think it would have been Teen Arena on a Thursday when I was about 13 or 14. Perhaps not 13 because I was a bit too young to be going to Teen Arena. Perhaps 14. I don't know, I can't remember. My memory sucks, like you should all know this by now. I can't remember anything, I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone my first guest years ago. So I don't really know. I have absolutely no idea. And that was it, guys. That completes the video for my first time tag. So, ow. Oh, I just slapped myself. So thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it as always, and if you did enjoy it then please give this video a big thumbs up. I know not everybody likes these type of videos, but I really like watching them and I really like filming them as well. So I decided to just go for it. It is an oldie, but let's be fair, I'm like 3 years late to the YouTube bandwagon, so I want to catch up a little bit and I really liked the question, so I thought I would film it. So yeah, if you did enjoy it, please give this video a thumbs up, and like always, if you are not already, don't forget to click the little subscribe button down below. If you would like to see more of me in my videos, I upload every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Hope you're having a fantastic week wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! All about different things that you've done with your food, like my back. Alright, so alright. Show you mine if you show me yours. Gotta let me in. Hey, let the fun begin.